at your desk. Now, those of you who watched my last video, we were talking about how can you stop slouching at your shoulders, or stop having or avoid having rounded shoulders. However, oops, that's my alarm. So, however, today let's talk about slouching in general and not just at your shoulders or your mid back area. So, most of us who have worked long hours or sat for long hours have experienced a slouched or a rounded posture throughout the spine at some or the other point of time. Now, it is very easy to say sit up or to say correct your posture, but how exactly do you do this? So, let us today talk about some common factors that lead to slouching, plus how you can correct them. So, some simple tips to stop slouching at your desk. Now, this, of course, is applicable whether you're driving or you're sitting down watching telly, but let's talk about slouching at desks because that is something that is very common when you're at work. All right, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck, and joint pain. And I do this by giving you simple exercises, easy lifestyle tips, some non-toxic natural products that I talk about, which have helped me in my own spinal and joint pain journey. I do all this without taking away a big chunk of your time because, hey, we are moms. I know we are busy people. So all my solutions and tips that I talk about are something that you can implement into your existing daily schedule. All right, so let's get back into the topic. How can you stop slouching at your desk? Now, when you talk about slouching, you would probably just think about your lower back or just your mid back. However, slouching can happen at every level of the spine. So, if you broadly categorize the spine into your neck, mid back, and lower back, slouching can be seen in all three regions. So, the very first thing let's tackle is from your lower back or your lumbar spine. So, if you look at the lumbar spine, many people will be sitting with a very rounded lumbar spine. So, they are in this kind of a position. And the very first thing you can do is try and sit back into your chair so that the bottom or your bottom is touching the back of the chair. So, you know, where the back and the bottom of the chair, that is the seat of the chair, are meeting, there's the right angle there. Try and make sure that your bottom is actually touching your lumbar spine, the bottom of your lumbar spine is touching that area. So, sit back into your chair. If you don't do that, what happens? So, the problem arises here that when you're sitting forward in your chair, after a while, when your lumbar muscles or your back muscles are feeling a little tired from holding you up all the while, you will tend to go back. And if you try this right now with me, so if you're sitting forwards in your chair and you try and go back, you will automatically round your lower back because those muscles in the lower back or the lumbar curve. So you have this curve. So this is the front of your body and this is the back of your body. There's a curve here. So these muscles are actually seeking some sort of a support. In order to do that, you will actually round your lower back. Another thing you can do to specifically support these muscles in the deeper part, and as in the most concave part of your lumbar curve, is to roll up a towel and then put it into the small of your back or the most deepest part of the curve of your lower back, and use that to support the muscles. You can also, if you have an ergonomic chair, you do have a built-in support. Try and explore that and see if that helps. Or you can buy one of those inserts or a full back support that you can put on top of your chair, and you can use that to support your back. That, of course, will support the other parts and the lower back as well, other parts of your spine, I meant. So, I have actually written a blog with the same topic of how you can stop slouching, and I have left a link in that blog to the lumbar support that I use. I use an ergonomic chair, but these are the ones that I've used in the past, and I quite like them. So I'll leave a link in the blog there for you. Also, yeah, and I will, of course, leave the link to the blog in the description of this video. And if you're watching me on Instagram, the link to the blog is in my bio or my profile. The other thing you can do is if you come up now, we talked about the lower back, you talked about the thoracic spine. Now, this might be a bit of repetition from my last video, but I will repeat it for those of you who didn't watch the last one. So take a tennis ball or a massage ball. So like I have this spiky ball here. So what I do is I put it in between my chair. Of course, you need to have a higher chair. I put it in between my, if you see that yellow ball there, I put it in between my shoulder blades, so anywhere from the top to the mid of my shoulder blades, and it's sitting between me and the chair. Now, the moment I round my shoulders, that ball is going to drop down. Now, the moment that ball drops down, your brain gets a feedback saying, hey, you are slouching. Can you correct your posture? So, this is a good postural correction tip, tip that you can give to yourself. And it works every single time, because this is something that I have tried. I used to do a lot of slouching at my shoulders and my lower back. I had a really bad posture growing up as a very conscious teenager. So I know if you have a slouch posture, I know it's not easy. And these little tips help you a lot. Of course, it doesn't sort out the problem. You need to still address the problem as to why you're slouching, but these little postural tips will help you to manage your posture on an everyday basis. Now, the other thing you can do is correct your posture at the cervical spine of the neck. Now, if you have noticed, I'm talking about your lumbar spine, thoracic spine, and your cervical spine. So, our spine is like a building block. You know how the kids play with those building blocks? So if you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about, or even dads, you know what I'm talking about. So they're like building blocks, one on top of the other, that make up a tower. So it's the same with your spine. Once you correct your lumbar spine, your thoracic spine, and your cervical spine posture, you will automatically be sitting in a good posture, and you will stop slouching at your desk. So for the neck, have a look at your neck, especially sideways. If you can get somebody to take a picture of you when you're sitting, that's even better. However, have a look at your side profile. And if you're one of those who poke your chin out, what will happen is the moment you poke your chin out, your body needs to balance that head over your shoulders. So you will automatically round your shoulders. Now, this, of course, will lead to a lot of slouching or slumping at the mid back, and that will translate to your lower back as well at some or the other point of time. So, in order to avoid this forward head posture, what you'll do is if you look at the tip of this pen and you draw a horizontal line from my eyes to the tip of this pen, get the pen lower down so that you are about 5 to 10 degrees below the horizontal line. So if you look at this, this is horizontal gaze from my eyes, and this is 5 to 10 degrees below. So the moment I look at the tip of the pen, which is 5 to 10 degrees below my horizontal gaze, my chin goes into a nod. This is a postural correction exercise known as a chin nod that will put your cervical spine or your neck in a neutral position. Now you've got your lumbar, that is lower back, thoracic, mid back, and your cervical spine, that is your neck, into a neutral position. However, there's one more thing that most people miss out on. When you're sitting, try and have your feet touch the floor. If they're dangling up in the air, what happens is eventually there's stresses that build up on those leg muscles, and it'll translate up into your knee, hip, pelvis, and your lower back. And then there goes your building block, the tower of building blocks, and your whole spine is pulled into a slouch posture like this. So if you have a chair that's higher up, and or you can't adjust it for any reason, then put a little stool, a footstool under your feet, so that your feet are always firmly planted on the stool or on the floor. Well, while we are talking about this, make sure that there are 3 points of your feet that are touching the floor. So, if this was your foot, of course, I can't show you my foot on the video, but if this was your foot, this is the ball of, say, this is the ball of your big toe, ball of your little toe, and this is the heel. These are together known as the tripod of your foot. So, if these 3 points are in contact with the floor, your feet, the weight of your body is evenly distributed on your feet. This is a tip you can use for standing as well, but right now we'll just address the sitting posture and slouching at desk. So the tripod should be your weight should be distributed over the tripod, so that you do not have your feet rolled out or curled in. I apologize if you hear that alarm on the video. It's just an alarm that I forgot to switch off before I started this video. All right, as a mom, I function on alarms. So if you're a mom, you get me. All right, so these are the 4 points that I wanted to talk about. That will help you to stop slouching at your desk. Now, as I said, I will leave a link in the description of this video about the blog that I have written on this topic that has more details and some more tips to help you. And if you're watching me on Instagram, the link to the blog will be in my bio or my profile. And yeah, if you have any questions, any comments on this topic, please do drop them below and I'll address them for you. Alrighty, I'll see you guys next.